people will say, we can't believe that our skin doctors were still in the Middle Ages doing the Mohs procedure, thinking that they were so sophisticated while they were doing it. It's just horrible. I believe that they think they're doing the right thing, but they have been brainwashed to do it, and they felt smug and comfortable doing it, and they couldn't have been even thinking of doing it unless they were told to ignore the causation of the disorder. If you understand the causation, you would never do that. You would understand how it's formed at the end. So this is about skin cancer, carcinomas, sun exposure. And remember, a little sun is great. Too much sun is not. But you need sun. And when you are not going to get sun exposure, that's when you are wearing the hat or the long sleeve or something that protects you. But don't use those SPF, high SPF factor creams. And if you want to make vitamin D, don't take a shower before you go out in the sun. Because you need the natural skin oil to make vitamin D.
I heard afterwards as well.
Well, afterwards you already made the vitamin D. So it's okay if you want to take a shower. But don't overdo showers anyway, because the water contains fluoride, which destroys your skin. And chlorine, that also dries your skin, opens the pores, and causes additional free radical damage. So long showers, when you know that the water has been polluted by your own government, by your own city, adding fluoridation into it with heavy metals and other toxins to accommodate the fertilizing industry that are making fluorosilicic acid, and they don't know how to get rid of it. So they found a way to follow the trend in the US, which is let's fluoridate the water with this toxic waste. And now we're forcing all the babies and children to be poisoned by excessive fluoridation, which makes them have bone damage, high risk of cancer, and lowered IQ, and other problems.
Apart from that, they're all right.
Hmm?
And apart from that, they're okay.
Well, apart from that, yes, they think they may have good teeth.
No cavities,
Yeah. Yeah, even that is not necessarily proven. Not at these doses, which are far higher than we should have them. But short showers are good for your skin. I mean short as opposed to having too long of a shower. The shorter they are, and the cooler the water, the better. And the least amount of soap. In nature, the most you would have done is jump into a lake, jump into a pond or a river. You wouldn't use soap. You would just get water to run over your skin. You would cool down, you would feel clean, and you'd move on. And that's it. Now we're staying in the water for such a long time. We continuously dry our skin, eliminate the natural moisturizer that we have in our sebum, that's secreted by the sebaceous gland. We end up with skin that is dry, porous, and allowing toxins in. That damages the sebaceous gland even further, drying them. Then they try to secrete when they are still very thick secretions, and they get blocked, and then we get acne. And then we get boils and cysts and blackheads. That's because we have not treated our skin correctly. In nature, it wouldn't have happened.
What about the areas that we don't expose to sun, like the chest areas and those that we never expose to sun?
It's time to expose them once in a while. Find a good secluded place and go some sunbathing.
So what if we take vitamin D in the capsule form?
You can take vitamin D in various forms. That's for vitamin D. But you still need some sun.
How much is sun?
Like we said earlier, 10-15 minutes on each part of your skin. It is, I think it should be a national rule. Instead of having those big sirens every few days, to have a siren at noon or at 1 telling the whole society to go out in the sun.
Isn't that the most dangerous time of day?
No, that's the only time of the day you can make vitamin D.
You mean 10 o'clock sun you won't make vitamin D?
You will not make
Or 4
vitamin D.
o'clock sun you won't make
No.
vitamin D?
But I thought only mad dogs and English women have.
Now you know how you have been fooled. You need the sun to be at the highest zenith, closest to the top, to make vitamin D. And even in Israel, southern that it is, during the 3 months of November, December, January, you don't make any vitamin D because the sun is too far to the south. During those 3 months, you need to take some vitamin D supplementation, or you need to have enough vitamin D made in your body. It's fat soluble, so it will accumulate in your fatty tissues for a month or 2 months until spring arrives, and you can make more vitamin D again.
What foods provide you with vitamin D? If you're saying in the winter, you need to store it.
Supplements.
On the supplements,
Yeah. No, you are storing it in the summer,
Right,
and you should use those storage for the winter.
right.
Or take some supplements in the winter. Some people take cod liver oil, but it's highly polluted with heavy metals, petrochemicals, dioxins,
Take it all.
and many other toxins. So I don't recommend for people to take fish oil for the purpose of vitamin D repletion. So that is about the sun. The sun is a nutrient for you. It provides you with vitamin D, so you have to take it very seriously as food. But remember, the sun will cause only the damage that you will allow to happen by eating your own large amount of rancid oils, which happen when you eat too many seeds. Excessive amount of seeds and nuts that contain unstable, really dark one. Every time you see a dark spot, whether it's protruding or not, you should pay attention to it, and you should have it immediately looked at and hopefully removed in a natural, non-invasive, non-aggressive, non-surgical way, like this one. Also, you want to see if the border is demarcated, if the border is sharp, or if it is irregular, if it is symmetrical or asymmetrical, if the pigment is even or unevenly distributed, if it's changing. All of those are important features for paying attention. Although the best thing is to remove it before it gets to that point. Sometimes a lesion can get affected by a mosquito bite. And suddenly there's inflammation next to it and you're going to scratch and traumatize and it starts bleeding. Now you are causing cellular replication because every time you bleed, the DNA has to replicate and the cells are dividing much faster, which increases the risk for mutation. Therefore, anything that sticks out has a higher risk of becoming something we don't want because of the high risk of mutation. If you have a birthmark, oh, there's a much bigger one right here, that is dark and flat. If you have something that you were born with and you say, oh, I had it all my life, that is the worst thing. The longer you have it, the higher the risk of mutation because it's been around the sun, the food that you've been eating, the pollutants that have been affecting your Langerhans cell and causing inflammation. Every time you have inflammation, you have free radical damage. Free radical damage damages the DNA, causing misplaced base pairs on your genes, causing a higher risk of cancer development. So the longer you have things, and birthmarks are 10 to 20 times riskier for developing cancer within them than normal skin does. So never tell me, oh, I had it all my life, as if that's the reason to keep it. No, if you're really attached to it emotionally, you can always keep it in a wallet size after it's been taken off.
How can you take it off without surgery?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Good question. Almost like I planted you right there. Now let's look at something really interesting. The real reason I asked her, not just because she has beautiful specimens. You can be so proud now. But look at the shapes. Look at how we have here several that are in one line.